They called him Vexthor the Undefeated. In 3 years at the Galactic Military Academy, no one had ever beaten him in combat. Not once. Today, everything would change. Today, he would meet Sarah Chen and her cat, Mr. Whiskers. What happened next shocked the entire galaxy. Vexthor walked through the academy halls like a king. Other cadets quickly moved out of his way. They feared him. He stood 7 feet tall, covered in dark blue scales. His red eyes glowed in the dim light. Sharp claws clicked against the metal floor with each step. 2 young cadets whispered as he passed. He broke Cadet Zarn's arm yesterday in training. The other cadet nodded. I heard Zarn begged for mercy, but Vexthor just laughed. Vexthor smiled, hearing this. He enjoyed being feared. Fear meant respect. Fear meant power. No one challenged him anymore. Training had become boring. Too easy. Suddenly, the academy speakers crackled to life. All cadets report to the main hall immediately. Commander Thalax has an important announcement. Vexthor entered the massive hall. Hundreds of alien cadets from different species filled the room. Everyone looked curious. The commander rarely called emergency meetings. Commander Thalax stepped onto the platform, his 4 arms crossed behind his back. Today marks a historic moment. A new species joins our academy. They come from a planet called Earth. They call themselves humans. The hall erupted in whispers. Vexthor had heard of humans, small creatures, weak bodies, no natural weapons like claws or fangs. Why would the academy accept such pathetic beings? The main doors slowly opened. Every eye turned to look. A small figure walked through the entrance. She stood barely 5 feet tall. Her skin was pale pink. Her hair was dark and tied back. She wore the standard cadet uniform, but it looked too big on her small frame. She carried a small box with metal bars on the front. Something inside the box moved. A soft sound came from it. Meow. Vexthor stared in confusion. What is that tiny creature? Is it her weapon? Her armor? The human woman walked to the center of the hall. She seemed calm, unafraid. She placed the box down gently and opened the front door. A small orange animal stepped out. It had 4 legs, a long tail, pointed ears, green eyes that seemed to glow. The human smiled warmly. This is Mr. Whiskers. He is my cat. He goes everywhere with me. The entire hall fell silent. No one moved. No one spoke. They all stared at the tiny creature. Vexthor felt something strange, something he had not felt in years. A small, cold feeling ran down his spine. Those eyes, the cat's green eyes locked onto his red ones. For just a moment, Vexthor felt like prey being watched by a predator. Impossible. He shook his head. I am the predator here, not some tiny furry animal, but deep inside something ancient in his warrior instincts whispered a warning. That creature is dangerous. What secret does this small Earth cat hide? Why does the galaxy's strongest warrior suddenly feel afraid?
The undefeated warrior Vexthor felt fear for the first time. A small Earth cat, named Mr. Whiskers, made him feel like prey. Today we discover why even the strongest warriors fear creatures from Earth. Sarah Chen stood in the center of the hall, holding Mr. Whiskers in her arms. The cat looked completely calm. He yawned, showing tiny white teeth. His tail swayed slowly from side to side. Commander Thalax spoke again. Sarah Chen will join your training group tomorrow. She has passed all entry tests. Treat her as you would treat any cadet. Vexthor stepped forward. His heavy footsteps echoed through the silent hall. He walked straight toward Sarah. Other cadets gasped. They knew what he was doing. He always tested new cadets. He always made them afraid. He stopped directly in front of her. His massive frame towered over her small body. His shadow covered her completely. He looked down with his glowing red eyes. Welcome to the Academy, human. I hope you survived your first day. Sarah looked up at him. She did not step back. She did not look away. She simply smiled. Thank you. I am sure we will become good friends. Vexthor felt insulted. Friends? No one spoke to him this way. He leaned closer, trying to intimidate her. His hot breath touched her face. You should learn fear, little human. Fear keeps you alive here. Mr. Whiskers suddenly lifted his head. The cat's green eyes locked onto Vextor's face. The cat's pupils became thin black lines. His ears flattened against his head. A low sound came from deep in his throat. Not a meow. Something else. Something primal. Vextor froze. Every muscle in his body went stiff. That sound, that look, his warrior instincts screamed danger. His scales stood up. His breathing became rapid. Sweat formed on his forehead. Sarah gently stroked the cat's back. It is okay, Mr. Whiskers. He means no harm. Just showing off. The cat relaxed. His ears returned to normal. His eyes softened. He began to purr. Vextor stumbled backward. His legs felt weak. What just happened? Why did his body react that way? He was a trained warrior. He had fought deadly enemies across the galaxy. Yet this tiny creature made him feel pure terror. Other cadets stared in shock. Did Vextor just back away from the human? Commander the Lax dismissed everyone. Training begins at dawn tomorrow. Get rest. That night Vextor could not sleep. He kept seeing those green eyes, those thin black pupils, that predator stare. He had seen that look before, on hunting beasts, on killers, but never from something so small. He went to his computer terminal. His claws typed slowly. Search Earth cats. Tell me everything. The database loaded. His eyes grew wide as he read the first line. Species classification. Felis catus. Status. Apex predator. Domesticated hunter. Kills for sport and survival. His hands trembled. The humans brought a predator into space. They carried it like a pet. They slept beside it. What kind of insane species does this? He read more. Cats hunt birds. Small mammals. Reptiles. Insects. They kill over 1 billion animals per year on Earth. They have night vision. Lightning-fast reflexes. Retractable claws. Silent movement. Vextor's breathing became heavy. This is not a pet. This is a weapon. Morning came too quickly. He had not slept at all. He walked to the training hall with heavy steps. His confidence was gone, replaced by doubt. Sarah was already there. She wore training armor. Mr. Whiskers sat on a bench nearby. The cat cleaned his paw with his tongue. He looked so innocent, so harmless. The training instructor called out names. Today we practice combat drills. Partner assignments. Vextor will spar with Sarah Chun. The entire room went silent. All eyes turned to them. Vextor felt his stomach drop. No, not her. Not with that creature watching. But he could not refuse. He was Vextor the Undefeated. He had a reputation to protect. What happens when these two face each other in combat? Will Vextor's strength overcome his fear? Watch Part 3 to witness the battle that changes everything. Vextor the Undefeated must fight Sarah the Human. Her cat, Mr. Whiskers, watches from the side. Today the galaxy learns that humans never fight alone. The training hall felt different now. Every cadet stopped their practice. They formed a circle around the combat mat. Everyone wanted to see this match. The legendary Vextor against the tiny human. Sarah stepped onto the mat. She rolled her shoulders and stretched her neck. She looked relaxed, almost too relaxed. Vextor stepped forward. His heavy boots made the mat shake. He was twice her size, 3 times her weight. This should be easy. But his instincts told him otherwise. Mr. Whiskers sat perfectly still on the bench. His green eyes followed every movement. His tail tip twitched once, twice, 3 times. The instructor raised his hand. Begin. Vextor charged forward with incredible speed. His massive fist aimed straight for Sarah's head. A strike that had knocked out dozens of opponents. Sarah moved. Not away. Sideways. His fist hit nothing but air. He spun around confused. She was behind him now. How did she move so fast? He attacked again. A sweeping kick. She jumped over it. He threw a punch. She ducked under it. Again and again he attacked. Again and again she dodged. The other cadets whispered. How is she doing this? She has no combat training records. Vexthor was breathing hard now. Frustrated. Angry. He was supposed to dominate this fight. Instead, he could not land a single hit. Then he noticed something strange. Between each dodge, Sarah's eyes flicked to the side, toward the bench, toward Mr. Whiskers. He watched closely during the next exchange. The cat's left ear twitched. Sarah dodged left. The cat's tail swayed right. Sarah spun right. The cat's eyes narrowed. Sarah ducked. His blood ran cold. They are communicating. The creature is directing her movements. Vexthor stopped attacking. He stared at the cat. Mr. Whiskers stared back. Those green eyes seemed to see everything. Every muscle, every breath, every intention. The cat was reading him, predicting his moves before he made them, then telling Sarah where to go. Sarah tilted her head. Why did you stop? Vexthor pointed at the cat. That thing, it is helping you. That is cheating. Sarah smiled. Mr. Whiskers is part of me. We have been together for 10 years. He knows how I move. I know how he thinks. That is not cheating. That is partnership. Partnership? Vexthor had never heard of such a thing. Warriors fought alone. Strength came from individual power. The instructor called out, "Continue the match." Vexthor decided to try something different. He would not attack Sarah. He would attack the cat, break their connection. Then victory would be his. He faked a move toward Sarah, then suddenly changed direction. He leaped toward the bench, toward Mr. Whiskers. His claws extended, his jaw open, showing sharp teeth. Mr. Whiskers did not run, did not hide. The small cat simply stood up, his back arched, his fur stood straight, his mouth open, showing tiny fangs. And then Vexthor felt it, pure primal terror. Every cell in his body screamed. Run, hide, escape. His body stopped in midair. He could not move forward, could not breathe. His vision became blurry. His heart pounded like thunder. He crashed to the ground, gasping for air. His scales turned pale. His hands shook. What was that? What did the cat do to him? Sarah walked over calmly. She picked up Mr. Whiskers. The cat immediately relaxed. He rubbed his head against her chin, purring softly. She looked down at Vexthor. Mr. Whiskers does not like being threatened. He released predator pheromones. Your body recognized them. Your instincts took over. You felt what his prey feels. Vexthor lay on the mat, unable to move. His pride was shattered. His reputation destroyed. Defeated not by the human, but by her cat. The instructor helped him up. Match over. Winner Sarah Chun. The hall erupted in shocked whispers. Vexthor lost. The undefeated warrior lost. But Vexthor barely heard them. His mind raced with questions. What are these humans? What kind of species bonds with apex predators? He had to know more. He had to understand. His survival might depend on it. What secrets do humans hide? Why do they live with deadly hunters? Part 4 reveals a shocking truth about Earth and its dangerous creatures. Vexthor was defeated by a small cat. His pride was broken. Now he must learn the truth about humans and why they are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Vexthor spent the entire night in the Academy library. His eyes were red from staring at the computer screen. He read everything about Earth, about humans, about their strange relationship with animals. The more he read, the more terrified he became. Earth was classified as a death world. Extreme temperatures, deadly storms, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis. The planet tried to kill everything living on it. But humans survived. They did not just survive. They thrived. They became the dominant species. How? The answer shocked him. Humans made alliances. They befriended the predators. Wolves became dogs. Wild cats became house cats. Even large, dangerous animals like horses were tamed. Vexthor read about dogs. They hunted with humans for thousands of years. They protected human homes. They died to save human children. Loyal until death. He read about cats. They killed rodents that ate human food. They detected dangers humans could not see. They were given food and shelter in return. A perfect partnership. His hands trembled as he read the next part. Humans did not fear predators. They respected them, learned from them, became like them. A soft sound made him jump. He turned around quickly. Sarah stood in the doorway. Mr. Whiskers was in her arms. Could not sleep either? Vextor stood up slowly. His pride told him to stay silent, but his curiosity was stronger. Why do you live with predators? Are you not afraid they will kill you? Sarah walked closer. She sat down in a chair across from him. Mr. Whiskers jumped onto the table between them. The cat sat down calmly, licking his paw. My species learned something important long ago, Sarah said. The strongest survive not by being alone, but by having allies. Dogs protect us. Cats hunt pests for us. Horses carry us. Birds warn us of danger. But they are dangerous, Vextor said. That creature could kill you while you sleep. Sarah smiled. She reached out and gently scratched behind Mr. Whiskers' ears. The cat purred loudly. Yes, he could, but he chooses not to. That is the difference. We do not force them to stay. They stay because they want to. Vextor stared at the purring cat. This made no sense. Predators do not choose to serve anyone. You still do not understand, Sarah said. They do not serve us. We are family. Mr. Whiskers is not my pet. He is my companion, my friend, my protector. The cat suddenly stopped purring. His ears turned toward the door. His body became tense. A low growl came from his throat. Sarah immediately stood up. Something is wrong. Vextor heard it too. Alarms. Loud and urgent. Emergency. All cadets evacuate. Unknown creature loose in Sector 7. They ran into the hallway. Other cadets were running in panic. Screaming. Crying. A massive beast appeared at the end of the corridor. It stood 12 feet tall, covered in thick armor plates. 6 legs. 4 arms. Each hand had claws like swords. Red foam dripped from its mouth. It was a Krager beast, one of the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy, used in advanced combat training. Somehow it had escaped its containment cell. Security teams appeared with energy weapons. They fired at the beast. The blasts bounced off its armor. The creature roared and charged. It grabbed a security guard and threw him against the wall. All cadets run. The instructor shouted, "Get to the safe rooms now." Everyone ran. Everyone except Sarah. She stood perfectly still. Mr. Whiskers jumped from her arms. The small cat walked slowly toward the massive beast. "No," Vextor shouted. "That thing will crush him." But Sarah just smiled. "Watch and learn." The Krager beast saw the tiny cat. It roared in challenge. Saliva flew from its massive jaws. It raised one enormous clawed hand, ready to smash the cat into the floor. Mr. Whiskers sat down. He looked up at the beast. His green eyes locked onto the creature's 6 red eyes. The beast froze. Its raised hand trembled. Its roar became a whimper. Mr. Whiskers did not move, did not blink, just stared. The massive beast slowly backed away. Step by step, its armor plates rattled from fear. It backed into a corner and curled into a ball. A 12-foot killing machine, reduced to a terrified child. The security team stared in shock. What just happened? Sarah walked over to Mr. Whiskers. She picked him up. "Good boy. You are so brave." The cat meowed softly. Content. Proud. Vextor could not believe what he saw. A house cat defeated a Krager beast without touching it. How? He whispered. How is this possible? Sarah turned to him. Because Mr. Whiskers is an apex predator. That beast recognized something more dangerous than itself. Sometimes the smallest hunter is the deadliest. What other secrets do humans hide? Will Vextor finally understand their power? Watch Part 5 to see the ultimate test of friendship and courage. A tiny cat defeated a monster that security teams could not stop. Now, Vextor understands humans are not weak. They are survivors who bond with killers. But his greatest test is about to begin. Commander the Lax called an emergency meeting the next morning. All cadets gathered in the main hall. Whispers filled the room. Everyone talked about what happened with the Krager beast. The commander stepped onto the platform, his 4 arms crossed. Yesterday we witnessed something extraordinary. A human cadet and her companion stopped a deadly creature without violence. This proves humans belong in our academy. Many cadets nodded in agreement, but three figures in the back did not look happy. They were Crawl brothers, massive warriors from a volcanic planet Crawl Prime. Each stood 8 feet tall, covered in red rocky skin, eyes like burning coals. They were known for their pride and their hatred of weakness. The largest brother, Cragther, stepped forward. Commander, this is unacceptable. That human used tricks, not strength, not honor. She does not deserve to be here. The hall went silent. Everyone turned to look. Commander the Lax frowned. Cadet Sarah passed all entry tests fairly. She has earned her place. Cragther smashed his fist against his chest. Then let her prove it in real combat. The three of us challenge her to a match. No weapons, no tricks, pure strength. Sarah stood up slowly. Mr. Whiskers was on her shoulder. She looked at the three massive warriors. 3 against 1? That hardly seems fair. Cragther laughed. A deep rumbling sound like rocks grinding together. Fair for us or fair for you, little human? The other cadets gasped. This was an insult, a direct challenge to her honor. Sarah's face remained calm. She gently placed Mr. Whiskers on her seat. She walked toward the center of the hall. Fine, I accept your challenge. Wait, another voice called out. Vexthor stood up. His scales had regained their dark blue color. His red eyes glowed with determination. She does not fight alone. I will stand with her. The entire hall erupted in shock. Vexthor siding with a human? Impossible. Cragther smiled, showing sharp stone teeth. So the great Vexthor now hides behind humans and their pets? How pathetic. Vexthor walked to Sarah's side. I am not hiding. I am choosing my ally. Something you would never understand. The commander raised his hand for silence. Very well. The match will take place in 1 hour. Combat arena. Standard rules. Victory by submission or knockout. The cadets rushed to the arena. Everyone wanted to see this fight. The undefeated warrior and the human against 3 Crawl brothers. Sarah and Vexthor stood in the preparation room. Mr. Whiskers sat on a bench cleaning his face with his paw. Vexthor looked at Sarah. Why did you accept? 3 Crawl warriors are incredibly dangerous. Sarah smiled. Because bullies need to learn lessons. And because I knew you would help me. How did you know I would help? Because Mr. Whiskers trusts you now. She pointed at the cat. When we first met, he saw you as a threat. Now he sees you as family. Vexthor looked at the small orange cat. The cat looked back. Those green eyes no longer held warning. They held acceptance. Something warm grew in Vexthor's chest. A feeling he had never experienced before. Belonging. The announcement echoed through the room. Fighters to the arena. They walked out together. The crowd roared. Thousands of cadets filled the seats. All cheering. All watching. The 3 Crawl brothers stood on the opposite side, cracking their knuckles, stretching their massive arms. Confident, arrogant. Sarah whispered to Vexthor, Watch, Mr. Whiskers. Trust his signals. Move when he moves. Vexthor nodded. For the first time in his life, he would fight as part of a team. Mr. Whiskers sat at the arena edge. His tail swayed slowly. His eyes tracked everything. The referee raised his hand. Begin. Cragther and 1 brother charged at Vexthor. The 3rd brother rushed toward Sarah. The battle had started. But this time Vexthor was not alone. This time he had allies. A human warrior. And a cat who saw everything. The brother attacking Sarah threw a massive punch. She ducked. His fist hit the wall behind her. Cracks spread across the stone. Mr. Whiskers' ears twitched left. Sarah spun left. Another punch missed by inches. Meanwhile, Vexthor faced 2 opponents. They coordinated their attacks perfectly. 1 high, 1 low. Vexthor blocked a high strike, but the low kick hit his leg. He stumbled. Sarah called out, Vexthor, watch the cat. Follow his eyes. Vexthor glanced at Mr. Whiskers. The cat's eyes narrowed, looking right. Vexthor dodged right. A fist flew past his head. The cat's tail pointed left. Vexthor struck left. His claws raked across a Crawl brother's arm. It worked. The cat could see the battle from outside. He predicted every move, directed every counter. Can Vex, Thor, and Sarah defeat 3 elite warriors? Will their bond with Mr. Whiskers lead them to victory? The final battle has begun. Vex, Thor, and Sarah fight 3 Crawl brothers. Mr. Whiskers guides them both. Today the galaxy learns the true power of friendship and trust. The fight raged on. Sweat dripped from Vex Thor's scales. Blood ran from cuts on Sarah's arms. But they did not stop. They did not give up. Mr. Whiskers sat perfectly still. His green eyes moved rapidly, watching, calculating, predicting. His right ear flicked. Sarah jumped back. A massive fist slammed where she stood a second before. His tail twitched twice. Vex Thor ducked and rolled. 2 Crawl brothers collided with each other. The crowd was silent now. No cheering, no shouting. Everyone watched in amazement. Cragther, the largest brother, grew frustrated. He roared and charged at Sarah with full power. His rocky fists glowed with heat. He would crush her with one blow. Mr. Whiskers suddenly stood up, his back arched, his fur rose. A warning. Sarah did not run away. She ran toward Cragther. At the last second, she dropped and slid between his legs. He could not stop his momentum. He crashed into the arena wall. Vex Thor saw his chance. He struck both remaining brothers with perfectly timed hits. They fell to their knees, gasping for air. Cragther pulled himself from the wall. He turned around angry and dizzy. He saw Sarah standing calmly. The tiny human had made him look foolish. He charged again, blind with rage. This time Vex Thor stepped in front of Sarah. He caught Cragther's punch with both hands. Their strength matched. Neither moved. Cragther snarled. You betray your kind for a weak human? Vex Thor pushed back hard. She is not weak. She is stronger than you will ever be, because she knows strength comes from unity, not isolation. With a final burst of power, Vex Thor threw Cragther backward. The massive warrior landed hard. He did not get up. The referee raised his hand. Match over. Winners Vex Thor and Sarah Chun. The crowd exploded, cheering, stomping, whistling. They had witnessed something impossible. A human and an alien working as one perfect team. Sarah walked over to Mr. Whiskers. She picked him up and hugged him tight. Thank you, my friend. The cat purred loudly. His job was done. Vex Thor approached the 3 defeated Crawl brothers. He offered his hand to help Cragther stand. Cragther stared at the hand. Pride told him to refuse. But something had changed inside him during the fight. He saw how Vex Thor and Sarah moved together, trusted each other, protected each other. He took Vex Thor's hand and stood up. You fought with honor. Both of you. Sarah smiled. You fought well too. Perhaps next time we can train together instead of against each other. Cragther looked at the small human, then at the tiny cat. Something he never expected happened. He smiled. Yes, I would like that. 3 months passed. The academy transformed completely. More humans arrived. Each brought animal companions. Dogs, cats, birds, even a snake that could detect poison. Other alien species were fascinated. They asked questions. They wanted to learn about Earth animals, about partnership, about trust. Vex Thor became Sarah's best friend. He learned to pet Mr. Whiskers. The cat would purr and rub against his scales. A friendship no one thought possible. One evening they sat together in the observation deck. Stars filled the massive window. Mr. Whiskers slept peacefully on Vex Thor's lap. I never imagined, as Vex Thor said quietly, that my greatest teacher would be a creature smaller than my hand. Sarah laughed softly. Size does not measure worth. Mr. Whiskers taught you what I could not, that even the strongest warrior needs companions. Vex Thor gently stroked the cat's soft fur. I thought being undefeated made me powerful, but I was just alone. Alone and afraid. You are not alone anymore, Sarah said. You have friends now. Real friends. The cat opened one green eye. He looked up at Vex Thor, then slowly closed his eye again. Complete trust. Vex Thor felt tears form in his eyes. Something warriors were taught never to show, but he did not hide them, because true strength was not hiding emotions. True strength was accepting them. Commander the Lax announced new academy policies the next day. From now on, we encourage cadets to form partnerships, to train in teams, to learn from Earth's example. Strength through unity. The entire academy cheered. Years later, stories spread across the galaxy. Stories of the human who brought a cat to space. Stories of the warrior who learned to trust. Stories of how Earth's smallest creatures changed the universe. And in every corner of space where these stories were told, people remembered one important truth. Humans were never weak. They were survivors, builders of bridges, makers of families. They did not conquer through fear. They united through love. And that made them the most powerful species in the galaxy. The screen fades to black. Mr. Whiskers opens one eye. He looks directly forward. He slowly blinks. A cat sign of love and trust. The Academy found peace. Vexthor and Sarah became legends. But today a new danger arrives. A threat that will test everything they learned about friendship and trust. 6 months passed since the Great Battle. The Galactic Military Academy was different now. Humans and aliens trained together. Animal companions were everywhere. Dogs ran through hallways. Cats sat in classrooms. Birds flew in the training yards. Vexthor stood on the observation deck, watching the morning sun rise over the academy. Mr. Whiskers sat beside him on the railing. The cat had grown comfortable with him. They were true friends now. Sarah joined them carrying 2 cups of hot earth drink called coffee. She handed one to Vexthor. Beautiful morning. Vexthor nodded. Peaceful. Too peaceful. Mr. Whiskers suddenly stood up. His ears pointed straight. His body became tense. A low growl came from his throat. What is wrong? Sarah asked. She had learned to read his signals perfectly. The cat stared at the sky. His tail puffed up. His pupils became thin lines. Vexthor followed his gaze. Nothing was there. Just empty space and distant stars. Then he saw it. A small, a growing larger. Moving fast. Very fast. The Academy alarm screamed to life. All cadets to battle stations. Unknown ship approaching. Not responding to communication. Weapons are armed. They ran to the command center. Commander Delac stood before a massive screen. Other senior officers surrounded him. All looked worried. The screen showed a black ship, angular, covered in sharp edges. No markings. No identification. It looked like a predator made of metal. What species is that? Sarah asked. The commander's face was grim. We do not know. Our database has no record of this ship design. They ignored all our calls, all our warnings. The black ship stopped just outside the Academy's defense range. It hung in space, silent, waiting. Then a voice came through the speakers. Cold, emotionless, mechanical. We are the collective. We have observed your academy. We have seen your experiments with inferior species. You allow humans and their animals. This is weakness. This is corruption. We will cleanse your academy. We will restore proper order. The commander spoke firmly. We reject your demands. This academy welcomes all species. Leave now or face consequences. The voice laughed, a sound like grinding metal. You cannot fight us. We are superior. We are pure. We are inevitable. The screen showed hundreds of smaller ships launching from the black mothership. They spread out like a swarm of metal insects, all heading toward the academy. Commander Delac turned his officers. All defenses active. All fighters launch. Protect the academy at all costs. Vexthor grabbed his weapon belt. Sarah did the same. Mr. Whiskers jumped onto her shoulder. His claws gripped her uniform, ready for battle. But as they ran toward their fighter's ship, something strange happened. Every animal companion in the academy began acting unusual. Dogs howled together. Cats hissed and growled. Birds screeched loudly, all at the same time. Sarah stopped running. She looked at Mr. Whiskers. What are you trying to tell me? The cat's eyes were wide, pupils fully dilated. He was not showing aggression. He was showing fear, pure instinctive fear. Sarah had never seen him afraid before, not during the Krager beast attack, not during any battle, but now he trembled against her neck. Vexthor noticed other animals too, all showing the same fear. Something about these enemies was different, something that triggered ancient prey instincts. They reached the hangar bay. Pilots rushed to their ships. Engines roared to life. But Sarah could not shake the feeling. Something was very wrong. A young cadet ran past holding his dog. The dog was whimpering, trying to hide. The cadet looked confused. He never acts like this. What is happening? Vexthor's mind raced. The animals sense something we cannot. They know these enemies are more dangerous than anything we faced before. The first wave of enemy ships entered the Academy's defense zone. The Academy's automated turrets fired. Energy blasts lit up the space. But the enemy ships did not dodge, did not maneuver. They flew straight through the fire. Their shields absorbed every hit without slowing down. Commander Thalax's voice came over all speakers. By the ancient stars, their shields are too strong. Our weapons are useless. Sarah looked at Vexthor. Their eyes met. Both understood. This was not a battle. They could win with strength alone. The enemy ships opened fire. Precise, calculated, cold. Each blast hit exactly where it would cause maximum damage but minimum casualties. They were not trying to kill. They were trying to conquer. One blast hit near the hangar. The explosion shook the entire building. Cadets fell to the ground. Ships crashed into each other. Sarah held Mr. Whiskers close. She whispered to him, "I need your help. I need you to be brave. Can you do that for me?" The cat looked into her eyes. His fear remained, but something else appeared. Determination, love, trust. He meowed once, loud and clear. A battle cry. All the other cats in the academy heard it. They stopped trembling. They stood tall. One by one, they answered his call with their own meows. Sarah smiled. "Good boy. Now let us show these machines what Earth creatures can do." But how could animals fight ships in space? What plan was forming in Sarah's mind? And what terrible secret did the collective hide?